Okay, guys, so we are going to be starting LT9, and we're going to start it with a very brief introduction on one of the easier parts of this, which is called scale factor. Okay, so I'm going to type these into the notes. You guys have access to this in the agenda for in Canvas as well. But this will just be basically the kind of completing of those notes. Okay, so um, first thing starts with if two figures are similar, the corresponding sides share a common ratio. Okay, so we're talking about similar figures. Similar means just like that, similar but not exactly the same. We'll talk about what kind of makes two figures similar as we get through this. So if two figures are similar, the corresponding sides, so sides that match up, share a common ratio. This ratio is called the similarity ratio. Okay. Okay. Scale factor, and I'm just going to kind of add things as we go here. Scale factor tells us how much bigger or smaller the image is from the pre-image. Okay. And hopefully the easier way to remember that is that pre comes first. Okay, so the pre-image is the original, the image is the new one. Okay. So using the graph that is provided, answer the following questions. So we're looking at this graph right here. Answer the following questions. Which figure is the pre-image and which is the image? So hopefully you remember from Math 1 that the prime is your new image. Okay, so the ones without the apostrophes would be your original. This would be your pre-image. And then the ones with the primes is your transformation. That's the image. Okay, so we're going from this smaller figure to this bigger figure, okay, which means that our scale factor is going to reflect that it's getting bigger. Okay, so what we do is we kind of look at the lengths of the sides. So this one has a length of 3 for the smaller one, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for the bigger one. So it looks like my image is going to be twice as big, but we're going to double check it on all sides. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on this one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And since these are rectangles, we know that the other sides are the same. Okay, so which figure is the image? Which one is the pre-image? The pre-image would be ABCD. Okay, the image is the result. That is A prime, B prime, C prime, E prime. Okay, so that's your image and your pre-image. All right, and then what's the scale factor? So we just decided that our scale factor, we went from this smaller figure to our bigger one. We took each of our side lengths and we multiplied it by 2. Okay, so our scale factor would be 2. Now, when a figure grows or shrinks by a certain scale factor, that transformation is called a dilation. So we have 3 different conditions. We can say that when our scale factor is greater than 1, it's a enlargement. Okay. When our scale factor is equal to 1, it's the same. You're multiplying it by 1, so nothing's happening. And when your scale factor is less than 1, it's a reduction. Okay. Those are just some things to think about for what that scale factor actually means mathematically. All right, so one more example here, and then that pretty much wraps up. Actually, we'll do 2 more here. So given the following example, what would the scale factor be for the pre-image to the image? So once again, our pre-image is the one without the primes. It's not always going to be getting bigger. Okay, so we're starting with our pre-image, which is the one without the primes. So in this one, it's easiest to check the ones that are either vertical or horizontal. The diagonal ones we'll talk about, but it gets a little bit trickier. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Um, my image is the smaller one down here. Those are the ones with the primes. And that goes to 1, 2. So we went from 4 down to 2. Now, you need to make sure that you remember that scale factors are multiples. So another way to look at it would be this longer one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 12 is our original length. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is our new length. So what we're actually doing is instead of saying that we have a scale factor of 2, because we're not multiplying our original one by 2, we're actually dividing it by 2, or 1/2. Okay, so that would be, make that a little bit bigger. So that would be our scale factor for this one because it's getting smaller. Okay, so if it's getting bigger, you're multiplying. If it's getting smaller, you're dividing. Okay, so let's take a look at this last example here. Um, we don't know which one the pre-image and the image are. So in this case, it would be okay to go either direction. So let's just go ahead and take a look at our bottom length, which is the easiest one. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So to go from a length of 3 to a length of 6, we are multiplying by 2. Okay, so we can say that our scale factor is either 2 or 1/2, depending on which one comes first. And we don't know in this case, so either one would be fine. Okay, it's when we have that pre-image and the image determined by the apostrophes that it becomes kind of right or wrong as to which direction you go. And that is pretty much everything for scale factor.